3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here, and I am joined by frequent contributors to the podcast. You can check out his podcast, On the Fly with KJ and OJ. Check him out on Twitch as well. OJ, how you doing, sir?
Heyo!
Happy Zombie Jesus Days.
Happy Easter, man.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer what I called it, but sure, whatever. for you traditionalists out there.
Hey, you know.
But we are reviewing... Sorry. We're reviewing this movie I didn't even know existed until Saturday morning. Because, you know, Netflix... And I have to give Netflix credit on this. Netflix has this new feature where it shows, like, the top 10 things for the day or for the week or what have you. It's actually very convenient. It's like, okay, so I can kind of, you know...
Gauge what the populace is checking out.
Yeah, and what the populace of apparently is checking out is WWE Studios' latest Oscar winner or Oscar contender. Okay, just real quick, I think I'm allowed to say this as a huge wrestling fan. I know you are as well. WWE Films has been lazy as shit, man. Like, I mean, we think about the movies they did. They did Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Weekend or Mystery or whatever else called. They did that Leprechaun remake with Hornswoggle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about
exactly.
that. Remember, what was it?
See No Evil.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't mind See No Evil. Just as a traditional slasher film, I'm like, it's fine, but when that's your ceiling, you know, that shouldn't be something you brag about.
I get that. I get that.
They also did the classic film of The Chaperone with Triple H and the girl with the big boobs from Modern Family.
Yeah, Ariel Winter.
Winter, yeah. Great Instagram follow, by the way. But
I'm trying to think of a couple other of their films that meet. Wasn't there one good one?
The Condemned. That was one of their films with Stone Cold.
That's right.
And that actually did decently well, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so too.
But the one that has done well for them and made money and was critically acclaimed was Fighting With My Family. Now,
yeah, it did.
And outside, I'll review that at some point. I will just say I think my biggest gripe is OJ's biggest gripe. Paige having a biopic made about her, and she's not. I don't think she's 30 yet.
She might just hit 30.
Yeah, but it's like, come on now. Like, why are you?
I completely agree.
You know, it's just.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like, the biggest rumor that's going around is she may come back for a match.
I don't want her to and get hurt.
Right. Hey, fucker.
Sorry. Oh, our cat is in the room here, and he's
frisky.
He's
going after my arm here.
Yeah, he's feline frisky.
but you know, since Edge has come back after having those neck surgeries.
What, 9 years?
Yeah, away 9 years.
Which is crazy.
But the rumor is that she might.
I don't want her to come back and get hurt, man. Like,
I mean, we said the same about Edge.
Yeah, and he's...
Well, I mean, I didn't say that about Edge, because fuck him.
Yeah, Edge is a home wrecker.
But you know what I mean, though? He, you know, people around the world were like, is he gonna, you know, don't want to see him get hurt. But the point I'm getting at is, if she does, that makes a hell of a, like, way to end a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you wait 5 years and then do it, and, like, you could have, like... something that's a real life kind of Rocky story, and
like
that,
you know, like you just show some like a silhouette of her walking back out to the ring, and you see someone goes like, "Let's get back to work" or some shit like that.
Some shit like that.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. I just know Vince Vaughn's in it, which already doesn't make me feel super good about it.
He's such a mixed bag. There's times that I love him, and times I fucking can't stand him.
He did that movie Jennifer Aniston, The Breakup, and that is one of my least favorite films I've seen in a minute. And he did this movie Kevin James called The Dilemma that Ron Howard directed. and I'm not a fan of that. Like, I really hate that movie, actually.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's not.
I tend to steer away from Kevin James when I can.
Well, you're lucky, because I saw it, and shockingly, like his metabolism, not great. But talking about this movie, okay, so I know everyone's quarantined. By the way, we hope we're staying safe out there. I know we all miss outside, and we're trying to find shit to just watch, and I mean, for a kid's movie, I mean, it's basically Teen Wolf Jr. I mean, if we want to be super technical, that's really all this is. So the plot, the plot, quote unquote, this kid named Leo, who's played by Seth Carr. He was, I knew he looked familiar. He was young Killmonger in Black Panther. So I was like, oh, I knew that. I knew I recognized that hair. But but Leo is this. He's basically 9-year-old Hunter. He's wearing wrestling shirts and wrestling. And I didn't have as many wrestling things in my room. It was more comic book shit. But his room, WWE personally decorated his room because he's got New Day posters everywhere. He's got a poster, I think, of Kane. Like, he's got all this wrestling memorabilia. It's just WWE. That is one thing I will say that they have in common with Tyler Perry. They are not known for his subtlety, because it's like WWE just threw up all over that room. It's like, he's a big wrestling fan, dreams of becoming the WWE champion. He's already black, so that's a real tough kill he's gonna have to climb to be a world champion. But what you gonna do? But he is getting bullied by these kids because this is one of those schools where teachers very rarely make an appearance, which is always one of my biggest axes of grind with these kids movies. Just teachers are just fucking, they're like kids not at the school, they're absent, wink. But this kid is getting bullied by basically, an evil version of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Like this white kid, this other black kid who's like the white kid's servant, basically. And then I think they have
another white kid.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's 2 white kids.
Right,
yeah, I think it's 2 white kids and the one black kid, like a reverse Oreo, 3 Musketeers. That's what.
Jesus.
Or just a regular 3 Musketeers. It's a little white nose, but these kids are just chasing him out of the school. They chase him down to this estate sale, or this open house, which in itself is hilarious because this open house is like the most poorly guarded open house because these kids just come running through this this older looking place, and this adult's like, "Hey, you can't be in there," and just doesn't even try to reprimand the kids. He's like, whatever. Like, I'm getting paid in sandwiches for those kids,
right?
Basically, and so Leo, by barely hitting the side of the wall, this compartment opens in this upstairs room he's hiding out in from the bullies, and he finds his old luchador mask in a case, might I add, which I kind of went, really? It would be in a case too, but whatever. The guy who's kind of running the real...
But the way the kid finds it, though, like National Treasure style.
It's very National Treasure style. And actually, that's a good comparison for this movie. Like, if you took... like Teen Wolf, Thunderstruck, Spider-Man. You took part of that in Teen Wolf, and then you took National Treasure and you put it in a blender, and we're like, "Here, kid, digest this." That's basically what this is. So he gets the luchador mask. The luchador mask has legendary powers, which you don't really elaborate on. They just kind of go, "It has powers, shut up." And I love the fact this kid is able to Google in about a minute exactly what this mask does and its origin. I went, wow, like, I've done book reports. You have to do some digging on Google.
And what's really funny about this is, like, the headline that it's under, it's like, legendary wrestling mask. Like, that's it?
But it's not even on, like, the top of the search. It's like 8 results down. I was like, really? This is the one you click on? And, yeah, it pulls up this old article, and you got the, the old faded photos and all that, and the mask matches exactly. Like, the picture that was taken is at the exact angle he needs to verify the mask.
Right.
It's like, all right. But, so basically he turns into Kid Chaos is his wrestler origin, or his wrestler name. And I will say, I hate this excuse for kids' movies. I really do, because people always go, well, it's a kids' movie, you're being hard on it. And it's like, well, your kids deserve better. Like, you don't have to show your kids, Last Airbender or Underdog or Alvin the Chipmunks, the movies, or A Tale of Two Kitties or whatever. You don't have to hate on your kid. I mean, you're an adult listening to this podcast. There's a 50% chance you've been divorced. I mean, you want to do better by your kids. but all cruelness aside, though, this movie, though, it's dumb. I cannot express enough how dumb this movie is. The CG on this movie, I could not find the budget on this movie. I would love the budget on this movie. I can't say more than $3 million.
So that would make sense to me. Maybe 5 because of the ring and how they have that set up. I mean, unless they actually shot it at the Performance Center.
Yeah, because
so there's a couple good things that I do want to point out.
Go.
So the group of friends. So when they're introduced to the audience in the beginning there, when they're going to school, the one kid with the glasses wants to be a writer for them.
Yes.
But the kids are super involved in wrestling anyway, and they're around 11 years old. That, to me, is one hell of a wink-wink to the audience. Like, hey, this is clearly fake or staged or whatever. Kids this age should understand that. Thus, don't try this shit at home. Don't, kill your brother or sister by doing a suplex pile driver. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's a good point.
So,
okay.
That's, to me, at least, what it kind of looked at. But, of course, it's also very kayfabe in the sense of, it's not like the wrestlers are scripting their matches backstage or anything like that. But it's... So there's that. I really thought the line between the friends about Spider-Man was really funny.
I did too.
There's a couple laugh out loud moments in the movie, so I mean, it's not like dog shit.
Oh no, I was never like. This is a very deep cut for people here, but stick with me. This wasn't like Norman the North, if you've listened to the podcast, or this wasn't Oogie Loves, or. Oh god, I'm trying to think. I mean, this wasn't Return out of the Shadows. This wasn't Ninja Turtles, where I was just like, I kind of want to leave. This is dumb. It's convenient that this is on Netflix, because if I had paid to see this, I think I'd be like, come on, guys. But
I think it's smart that it's on Netflix.
I agree.
Because that is at least WWE related. That is something that is not on their own platform that someone can see. An 11-year-old kid can stumble across that movie like, hey mom, I want to put on Netflix, and they got the child setting on there.
Yeah.
And then they stumble across this and they go, ooh, what's this? WWE, mom, have you heard of this? And then like all of a sudden, $9.99, and then the kid's mind is blown.
That's a fair. So it's funny because I have the cast list pulled up on IMDb, and it's got an ad for Doolittle. And if I'm thinking about if I'd rather watch this or Doolittle, I'll be honest, this probably is as good as Doolittle with less resources, which I guess kind of by default makes it better, if I'm being honest, because...
So I got thinking about it, man. There's what kids movies I like more than this.
Yeah.
You ever see Bingo?
Yeah, I remember Bingo.
Yeah, I'd watch Bingo over this.
That's fair.
I would watch the end of Turner and Hooch on repeat, I think,
over
this.
Okay.
Where the dog dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather watch that than this.
Okay.
Because at least I feel something.
That's fair.
So the acting's terrible in this. No. So I just want to point out, like, so the dad, and we had that aha moment about him, when we figured out who he is.
Adam Pally. Oh, he's the redneck dude in Iron Man 3 who's marking out.
Oh,
too.
Yeah,
that's him.
Right.
Yeah, Adam Pally is his name.
And he was the deputy sheriff in Sonic the Hedgehog,
which is
out this year.
Which is way better than this, might I add.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He's a bike scout trooper in The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, he is.
I think he's one of the ones that was abusing Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Or the child, or whatever the fuck they call him. But the dad. I mean, the dad's kind of half trying on this.
That's kind of, yeah.
There's a couple lines where you could tell he's giving a shit. The grandma's over the top as fuck.
Okay, so that's Tashina Arnold.
How old is she, by the way?
She's born in 69, so...
So she's 50, 51.
Yeah.
Wait.
That can't be right. 70, 80, 90, 09, 19. No, you're right, 51. Yeah.
Aha!
Yeah. Okay, so most people would know Tashina Arnold as Pam from My Ann, and of course as a...
Who was she in Little Shop of Horrors? Was she one of the singers?
The
3 singers that show
up. I haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors in so long. She is Crystal?
I think that's one of the 3 singers.
Okay.
I really do. Like, I would have to look that up a bit more.
But
that's cool that she was in. I love Little Shop of Horrors.
It's a great movie. But you know her as Pam from My Ann, and then Chris Rock's mom, and Everybody Hates Chris. I really liked Tashina Arnold. There are some points I thought she was funny, but there are some points where I was cringing in my seat. Like, this is really uncomfortable, over the top. I don't like this humor. Mm-hmm. And it kind of, it's probably more of a 60-40 split from, like, awkward to funny for me. Because some of her shit, there's a scene where it's almost like she's practicing twerking. I'm like, okay, like, let's, like, enough of this. But there are some scenes where she has to go ahead and kind of have some tough love moment with the dad that we're talking about, Steve. And those scenes, I went, you know what? Okay, these are actually kind of hitting for me, because you find out the mom left, or Steve's wife left, and
which is the grandma's daughter.
Yes, and I'm really happy they didn't do what I thought they were gonna do, have him like hook up with the grandma, because there's because there's a part of me I was kind of like, they might Captain America this shit. He goes ahead.
That would be weird to
It would be, but I kind of thought they might pull the trigger on it.
Oh man, like, I'm really glad they didn't. That would have been too much.
I agree, but I was kind of sitting there watching it like, don't do it, movie. Like, just let this.
I think that's fair, man.
Because there's that one scene where he's talking about, like, my daughter needs, some lessons and how to be a mom, and he was like, well, you've been here, and I was like, like, don't do it, and he didn't, thankfully. Ken Marino is in this. Ken Marino has a very interesting career, because Ken Marino plays the manager of this wrestler Samson, because Leo, Kid Chaos, enters this tournament to...
That's held in his hometown.
Yeah.
Coincidentally.
Yeah, go figure. So, this movie is a combination of not just Teen Wolf, but it's a Save the Rec Center movie, too, because...
Oh my god, it is.
Because Leo's dad, Steve, is having a conversation with the grandma, who's listed as grandma, by the way. Her name doesn't matter. But they have the whole, I need $20,000 to save the house, and this tournament that WWE is putting on, not only do you win $50,000, but you become a WWE superstar as well. And so, Leo goes, oh my god, I can save our house. And
did you bring up the fact that Leo's voice changes with the mask?
That was the next thing I was about to bring up. So unlike in BVS, where they show Batman with a goddamn microphone in his mask, where I went, thank you, Christian Bale, take notes. But this movie, when the kid gets the mask, puts it on, becomes Kid Chaos, his voice gets deeper. It drops like a couple octaves. He almost sounds like Barry White. like, hey baby, I'm a wrestler. Dang. It's really weird. It's one of those things that they put in that I went, why? Yeah, like this didn't need to be here. There's a scene with the girl he has a crush on, and
oh man, like this kid's so awkward with her.
Yeah, like it's a. Now I will say, back in my day, you know, I was gonna make a joke, I'm gonna be good, but back in my day, man, 8-year-old me was this uncomfortable with girls. I've shared the story on the podcast, but I almost broke my nose running away from a girl. Hit a tetherball pole in 3rd grade because the girl was like, "Do you have a crush on me?" And I was like, then turned and ran, boom, knocked myself out, woke up in the nurse's office. Classic Hunter. And this kid is just so uncomfortable around this girl. He's practically looking at his feet like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" And I found it kind of endearing. It's really uncomfortable, though, in this one scene where he's, like, putting on the mask and taking it off, kind of trying to talk to her, like Kid Chaos. So, because the girl, who seems really smart, no part of her goes, it sounds like Kid Chaos is in this house right now. Like, why is that possible? It's really weird, to be honest. And I will say, too, where Leo has to kind of turn to a dick.
Oh, yeah. He has to have that part of that hero's journey.
Yeah, where, of course, he gets to, because he's going through the tournament. He's winning these matches. And I will say the CG, I thought that dunk that little Bow Wow didn't like Mike looked bad. Oh, man, I have to apologize to Bow Wow. I think he's living in his car right now, but I have to apologize. Because there's a point where this kid is running the ropes, and he turns into a blue blur. It looked like they went... How do we make that original Sonic design, basically, but in blur form? Because it is such a shoddy looking effect.
It really is.
I guarantee you can find better stuff on YouTube, like as far as editing, because it just, I don't even know what it looks like. It almost looks like you grabbed a recycle bin and just ran around in a circle with it, because it's horrible looking. And anytime he's wrestling, because he's wrestling these guys who are much bigger than him, obviously. He wrestles Tucker from Heavy Machinery. And in one of the few scenes...
Oh my god. Are you talking about the finish to the match?
Yeah, so we have to talk about this. And this is where kids' movies make me just go, come on now. So he's wrestling Tucker from Heavy Machinery. I can't remember his name in the movie. It doesn't matter. But he goes ahead and wrestles Tucker, and Tucker, at a point, grabs the ropes, clenches his cheeks, and just farts. And the power of Tucker's fart
is like William Regal's The Power of the Punch.
Yeah, like the Kid Chaos is holding on the ropes because like it's wind basically, like because he's blowing wind, ha ha ha, and like the audience is out and they're like passing out, and this joke, if they had stopped at 5 seconds of it, I would be like, that's dumb, but whatever. This scene goes on for like 20 seconds, easy. And he's just farting, like, wiggling his butt. I was like, oh my god, please stop this. And then Kid Chaos still wins anyway with this somersault. Like, if you guys played the game WWE All-Stars, it's basically, any of the matches you're going to have on there is basically what this kid's matches are. Because he's just flipping in the air and doing kicks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's really weird, because the movie is trying to be grounded in some sort of reality, but this is from Earth like 612. This is not our Earth, apparently. Because whenever the kid, like, even when the kid initially does an elbow drop on the Miz, he's having like a dream about it. It's not some crazy flip or anything, just an elbow drop off the top rope. When he does that, it looks so weird when he hits on the Miz because of the height, and weight differential. Obviously, it's like watching Rey Mysterio match. Hi-oh, but it's off-putting. I think if they made this kid like a teenager, like maybe like 14, like 15, like just I think the reality would be easier, because the other point in logic you really have to accept is that WWE would see this kid, sign him up for a contract, and let him compete. And that is where I went, okay, because even his deep voice, this lady looks at him like, how old are you? And he's like, doesn't matter the size of the dog in the fight, it's all about the fight and the dog. And she goes, alright, sure, sign. It didn't see the kid's signature go,
I mean, that's about what it is for WWE now.
I mean, that's fair. Like,
hey, your visa's about to expire, sign here.
Hey, kid, why'd you draw a smiley face in your O?
Is that a star above your eye?
Yeah, I've never seen Leo with a smiley face. But no, they're just like, oh, go ahead and sign up. And it is shit like that where you just kind of go, oh, give me a break. But I wrapping up here, and I really do mean this sincerely. There is so much more offensive shit that you could show your kids. I mean, this is something that when he has his fight with his friends, I actually found that surprisingly effective, all things considered. I mean, it's bullshit, but the acting between the kids in the scene, I went, you know what? Okay. OJ here was cheering on the chunky white kid because the girl he has a crush on, of course, has to compete in the talent show because, of course, she does.
Which, I mean, this kid, Leo, is such a dick. Like,
yeah, he really is.
It's like a full-on heel turn.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's Stone Cold at X7.
Seriously, because like he's like, hey girl I like, let's dance at the talent show together. Girl I like goes, yeah, and fucking
he ghosts her.
Not only does he ghost her, but he lies to her.
Yeah.
Oh, I showed up as soon as I could, and like all this shit's on social media of him taking pictures with fans and shit. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, this kid is the fucking worst. So the white kid, who's like pretty quiet throughout this whole thing,
yeah,
gets up on stage and dances with her and fucking crushes it. I was like, that's the way you do it, white kid. You fucking go get the girl.
Yeah, and honestly, I actually wish that the white kid and her would have ended up together.
I did too, because he actually showed out.
Yeah, and it was actually
he didn't need no mask.
Yeah, boom, there you go.
That's right.
And I will say, there's a scene where the grandma is talking to Leo after, of course, his fall from grace, and goes, you know, the mask isn't what gives you power. And I was like, bullshit! The mask is the only reason this kid's doing flippity-flop elbow drops. In this.
So here's what we get. The main event 2, Electric Boogaloo. So Leo, it's senior year, okay? So it's a few years down the line. Let these kids grow up some.
Yeah.
So where the movie leaves off, where he's actually going to wrestle his bully, like actual wrestling.
Yeah.
So he's like a champion wrestler, right?
Okay.
And the dancing kid also learns parkour, so he also gets into wrestling because he's mad and got the vengeance against Leo for stealing the girl that he actually loves. And he's let his rage build up through junior high and high school.
Oh my god.
And it leads to a street fight in the streets, but there's ropes and turnbuckles, so there can actually be wrestling moves. And yes!
Wow. That's goddamn ridiculous.
Their friend who wants to be the writer is going to be the commentator.
What I was thinking, I mean, the kid already has a mask. I'm just waiting for, the main event 2, robbing a pawn shop. I mean, that's what's future. Well, I mean,
that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, I mean, he's not living in Baltimore.
Oh my god.
I mean, you haven't seen The Wire yet, I'm just saying.
Dude, the name of this town is something out of a fucking children's book.
It's like Lovin' something.
Yeah. It's something stupid.
Yeah, it's a very weird... I remember it started with an L, but I remember it did not sound like a real town name. Like, it sounded like if you're cheating on your significant other and you're like, where were you? I was in, Leavenworth. Like, that sounds real. Like, come on. But I mean...
How much you want to bet they made this movie on?
I can't... So I've been looking... This whole review to try to find the budget, I can't find. It couldn't have been more than $5 million.
I'm gonna say it's around the 1 mark.
You think so?
I think it's gonna be $1 million or less, man.
Okay.
I'm curious. The main event. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick.
Please do. But yeah, the Kid Marino. We talked about him a little bit. He just has such a weird career because I mean, he was on a children's hospital, that Adult Swim show. I really like. That show, he's on Black Monday, which is that Showtime show with Don Cheadle and I'm blanking on the girl's name. Damn it, Regina King, I want to say. But I actually like Kid Marino and a lot of stuff, but sometimes he's just in some bullshit. You've seen him in like iZombie and Drunk History, like also.
iZombie, I've seen like an episode or two.
I love iZombie. I think it's a great show.
And I've Drunk History, I tried to watch, I couldn't get into.
Really?
I really tried.
Have you seen Party Down?
No.
You need to watch Party Down.
Okay.
You will enjoy this. So that's right when Stars was starting to kind of take their shows seriously, because it's the teacher from Spider-Man: Homecoming, Martin Starr. You know, he's on Silicon Valley too. It's Ken Marino. It's Ben Wyatt, Adam Scott, Lizzie Kaplan, and Jane Lynch, and they're all caterers, like for celebrity events and all that. It's a really good show. Like Megan Mullally shows up, and it's a damn good show. But you should check out Party Down. But
so one thing I can confirm about the main event, while I can't find a budget, the whole thing was filmed in Vancouver.
Interesting.
So that means they had to set up the ring and all of that stuff there. So they could probably still do it on. How many sets are there? Like 3?
It did not.
4?
It did not feel like we went around this.
I want to say I'm going to say 1.5 mil. Final answer.
Okay, 1.5 mil.
We'll look in a few weeks.
Yeah, because I was looking and WWE's like, nope, can't release that. But like I said, there's worse things you can show your kids. As far as between, this is comparable with something like Playing with Fire, and again that had John Cena, Keegan Michael Key, and that actually irritated me more at points because at least this didn't have little girls shitting in their pants and My Little Pony subplots for absolutely no fucking reason. So I mean,
fair.
Dude, Playing with Fire is not a great movie, but so I mean, this is in the medium and on the network it should be on, because if I had paid to see this I would have been irritated, but it's it's quote free unquote.
It does make Ready to Rumble look like Shakespeare, though. I just want to say that.
I have a weird infatuation for Ready to Rumble. Like, I really like Ready to Rumble, but
it's fun.
But I like it in the way I like Batman and Robin. Like, I know it's a piece of shit, but
I like Ready to Rumble more than Batman and Robin. Okay, so
as a movie, I do, but I remember not, like, 11-year-old me, like, the closest thing I'd seen to boobs at the time was Uma Thurman, not Poison Ivy outfit, which is why if I ever meet a girl Poison Ivy cosplaying at WizardCon, to quote the Young Jock song, it's going down, but
the game's afoot.
Yeah, exactly. I just texted the game's afoot. Oh, Hunter found a Poison Ivy cosplay. Well, Hunter is in Portland, but
Jesus.
But wrapping up, though, I mean, like I said, there are worse things you can show your kids. I thought this was fun at points, dramatic at points where it actually kind of surprised me. We did not mention this because it's at the very end, but Kofi Kingston is not a good actor. Kofi Kingston's a really bad actor. I love Kofi, but he's a bad actor. And The Miz in this was sleepwalking through it.
He was.
And the only reason I'm kind of giving Miz a break is because Maurice is pregnant again, and her and The Miz just had a kid, like a year and a half ago?
Yep.
So I don't know how much The Miz is sleeping. I actually like The Miz, so I'll give him this. That rap song he did with John Morrison aside, which was not great.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Yeah, that wasn't awesome, but
you know what I did like? Sheamus is the referee, because he kept going, "Hey, I'm the official here,"
which is so random for Sheamus.
I was just like, "Yeah, listen to Sheamus."
but I mean, again, this isn't offensive. Like, I mean, I'd watch this over Hellboy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they're the same length of time, and I thought the kid was at least trying. So, and people were, but I give this I'm gonna be nice, maybe a little nicer than I even should be, but I just watched Bruise Brothers, which I'm reviewing here this week, and spoiler alert, it's a piece of crap. I'd way rather watch this than that show again. So I'll give this a C-. Yeah. If your kid sees it, like, oh, I want to watch it. I mean, you could be watching Alvin and the Chipmunks Shipwreck.
That dude was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Kim Marino. Oh, yeah, no, Kim Marino's, yeah, no, I remember, I thought you were talking about, yeah. No, he's actually funny on there. So, yeah, C- for me. OJ, your final thoughts on it?
Would you give it?
C-.
C-. Damn. All right, so
I'm not going to be that generous.
I'm not. I'm really not. I'm being as objective as I can.
Yeah.
So it's an hour 45. It's, honest to God, 15 minutes too long.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That kind of makes me... Okay, sorry, you go first.
The whole subplot about the mom could have been wrapped up in one scene.
Easily.
Maybe two.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
But it's a cloud hanging over the movie.
It really is.
Yeah. Until it doesn't need to be for some reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They get a slight boost for the mom just not showing up out of nowhere to see the final match.
Okay, I definitely thought she was gonna reconcile, or was gonna call the kid and
or something.
That sent him to a tailspin or something. Yeah,
or something like, of course I recognize my baby on the TV. Like she knew it was him all along.
You know what I would have actually given the movie credit for is they pulled a water boy. Like at the very end, the mom shows up looking for money. And the grandma calls him out or something like that.
That I would have... Okay, if they would have done that, that would have justified the 15 minutes.
Yeah, that would actually... That's... Why didn't you guys do that? It was right there. Sorry.
Yeah. So...
I know, this is a hard one to grade because... Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it as a kid's movie. I honest to God am. And I'm trying to be forgiving as far as... like what real standard kids movies should have.
Yeah.
And trying to think about, like, I appreciate the little wink that they do talking about, like, WWE has writers or production people, things like that. Like there's a circus, like there's more to the circus than meets the eye.
Yes.
So I appreciate that, even though it's one only small mention. I really like Keith Lee in this. And we didn't talk about Keith Lee.
One of my favorite wrestlers in wrestling today.
Oh, he's great. Keith Lee is great. Keith Lee looks like $1 million here.
Yeah.
Because he comes off personable.
Yeah.
He comes off very likable.
Yeah.
Like, just in general. And he's likable on NXT right now as well. But he comes off really likable to kids here.
Yes.
Because him and Leo have just good chemistry together.
Yeah.
In terms of the dialogue that they have back and forth. And so I think it's great that Keith Lee gets the nod in this one to be that kind of like, I'm a wrestler and I'm your friend.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Okay.
So there's a lot of bad acting.
Yes, there is.
There's a lot of bad acting.
Yes, there is.
The dad is, honest to God, aside from a couple scenes, he's honestly fucking terrible. When he's sitting there eating noodles and watches wrestling, doesn't know where his kid is, doesn't know where the other person living in his house is, his mother-in-law. He's just going to sit there and eat. What? Like, what in the actual fuck? So, I'll give the movie a little credit for the fact that they have some things tied back to previous in the movie. So, the whole bit about how Samson is afraid of heights...
That was surprisingly coherent. Right,
and how the mask smells bad.
Yeah.
But selectively smells bad.
Yeah.
So it tries in parts.
Because I'm actually changing my grade because of something you just brought up. So. I'm
giving it a... I'm sorry, man. This is hard.
Okay, so let me go first.
Okay, go first.
Because I personally, I'm gonna give it a D+.
Okay.
And the reason I'm gonna give it a D+ is because I am thinking about some of the bad acting with the dad. There are points where this kid is just gone for it seems like a day, and the dad is just like,
get out my car.
Yeah, I got done doing Uber. Like I'm good. It's like that whole like ad they were doing back in the day, like, do you know who your kids are? No, no, I don't, because he's a and I will give Leo credit because he calls his dad out on it. He's like, whenever things are sad or you just go in the garage, you don't talk to me. And I was like, yeah, he's not wrong.
Yep.
And it's sad that your kid has to be the one to point this out to you. So. Yeah, I mean, and it is like 15 minutes too long. Like this could have been a clean 90 minutes. Easy. There's this scene. Okay, actually, yeah, D+. I'm sticking with the D+ for this reason alone. There's a scene where he puts on the mask and he's in this like ice cream shop, and the kid's on the news, and the dad sees nothing about his son being out stopping a robbery. You're like, All right. Like, the cops don't take this kid home or anything. Would you think they would? Like, a kid just stopped a fucking robbery, and the cops are like, oh, have fun walking home. It's like, what? So, yeah, D+. D+ for me.
I'm giving it a D-. I was sold on an F+.
Really?
Yes.
Damn, okay.
I talked myself up to a D-.
Okay.
There's a little bit of heart here. I can't give anything with a little bit of heart a fucking F or go fuck yourself.
That's fair. That's fair.
And it's a smidgen of heart.
Yeah. Like, if you had less than a smidgen, you'd be
I would rather have my kid sit down in front of a lot of other things than this.
I'd put my kid in front of a fish tank. No,
for sure. But I mean, like, this would be one of the last things I put a kid in front of, though. I gotta say that, though.
That's completely fair. You could show your kid.
This is really bad quality, and it's dangerous in points because kids will fucking try this shit at home.
Yeah, that's
because I get because for my opinion, that's why it does that little wink in the beginning. It's a slight wink, but it's there. Not an actual wink, but a metaphorical wink.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No, I think that's fair, man. Here's my thing. I think this is, for what this is, like I said, I've seen way worse, but at the same time, in OJ, I mean, you review stuff, man. We've had this discussion many times. The whole kids movie thing, I can't let that be an excuse.
I totally get it.
You know what I mean? Because you can say for anything, like, it's a rom-com, come on. It's like, no, like, whatever the subgenre of the film is doesn't mean I should expect lesser quality from it. And and I really hate how so many critics do just go, it's a kid's movie. Like, no, that doesn't excuse it from being torturous. And while this never was, like, torturous to me, there are points where OJ and I just looked at each other after a really bad line, or, like, grandma twerking, or she's going, like, they had this subplot of her, she's like, oh, I'm gonna be an Instagram influencer. It's like, oh, come on now. It's like, and they beat that horse, like, past death. I was like, okay.
They also beat the whole thing about her, like, fucking having the hots for Kofi.
Yeah, and they're, like, not subtle. So it's very much like, oh, God, it's very much like in Pixels, where they have that, like, Peter Dinklage is obsessed with, I want to say it's Serena Williams and Martha Stewart. Mm-hmm. And so the moment they bring it up, you go, okay, so this is clearly coming back. They'll show up. So once she's talking about, like, oh, Kofi, yeah, get it. It's like, oh wow, was that authentic enough?
so you know, I don't know if I've ever told you this story.
Go.
So let me tell you the real life grandma that I saw of this.
Okay, please.
So it's 2000. It's here in Reno.
Okay.
Right? It's at Lawler Event Center. It's a WCW Thunder taping.
Okay.
So me and this dude that I, like, went to high school with, him and I went to this event or to this Thunder taping. And for Lawler, there were two ways to enter into Lawler. You could go up the steps and go in through the main entrance, and they had this other side entrance you could go to as well. And it was this all glass doors and big ass windows, right? So this dude that a friend of mine I was with, him and I, we went to the downstairs portion, and we're chilling there, and we see all the wrestlers going back and forth, all the security, everything like that. And we had wrestlers, like, waving and all kinds of shit like that. And Ric Flair threw up the 4 Horsemen thing to me because I was the only one who did it, because everybody was booing the shit out of him.
Oh, I wouldn't have up the Flair.
Oh, Mean Gene Okerlund was there.
Nice.
Kevin Nash had his broken ankle, and he's walking around on crutches. That was the biggest man I'd ever seen at the time.
Was that when he was, like, the commissioner?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there for the night that he said he was Batman.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyhow, this is where I'm going with it. We're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And there is this grandma. No joke. Like, silver hair, 5'2", glasses, very tan, in painted overalls and a top hat for Buff Bagwell. And she was there for Buff. And she was like, where's Buff? Where's Buff? And then Buff walks by, sees everybody, points and does his little pose shit.
Yeah.
And she threw herself on the glass and was going, oh my God, Buff! Oh my God! oh, he's so hot. Oh my God, look at him. And he's all posing and laughing and smiling. And she's just like banging on the glass. Oh my God. And she's maybe 5 feet away from me and my friend. And we're like, oh my God. Like, this lady's lost it. Because we're up against the glass too. And so my flare can see me. And so Buff Bagwell walks away. She is like, I swear to God, she just got done climaxing. Because she's up against the glass just going, She stops and turns and looks at us all. She goes, all you guys need to look like him.
Wow.
All you guys, all you men should be ashamed of yourselves. If that man can walk around looking as good as he does, you should too. And I was like, oh, okay, lady.
Wow.
Like,
oh, man.
You're not going to make friends quickly here.
If I was with you, I would be like, well, you need to, women need to look like major guns.
but dude, she was, it kind of made me think of her when I watched this.
Okay. Damn, that's intense.
Oh, it was a fun day.
Quick segue here, because we never do that on here. The state of wrestling. I just want to talk about it real quick, because we've talked about it. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I love pro wrestling. I remember getting into an argument, to tell a quick story. I remember getting into an argument with my pastor when I was 7, because I said basically the Undertaker was an angel, and he's like, what? I'm like, well, he was buried alive, and he came back. And my pastor was like, wait, what? I remember having that genuine argument because I listened to an episode, an Adventures in Odyssey episode, to date my Christian reference there. But I listened to this episode of Adventures in Odyssey as a kid, and I remember it was when it was Taker against Mankind, buried alive match. I remember Taker's hand shoots up from the grave, this iconic shot. I remember that was like a Sunday. I remember talking to my pastor that next Sunday, being like, the Undertaker rose from the dead, what's going on? And my pastor being like, it's not real. I'm like, it's real to me, damn it. But oh man. But the state of wrestling, though.
Real to me, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. But the state of wrestling, though, I will say, WWE, man, they did something that I loved in that WrestleMania this past weekend. They had a great Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens match.
Yep.
They had a mind fuck. Like, I've never taken mushrooms, but watching that Firefly Funhouse match between Cena and The Fiend, if that's what mushrooms are like, I might wait on them, because
it's more like acid, man. Honestly.
Okay.
That match was brilliant.
Yeah,
I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked because man, I watched it live. You did not.
I did not.
And you know how much I dislike that Boneyard match.
Yeah. Which internet, come on now. Like, the internet was just sucking that match's dick. They were just like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. And
it's just because it's an Undertaker match that didn't really suck, but it was so over the top ridiculous that it does suck.
I get it.
I mean, that's my honest opinion, man. And the fucked up part is like, how can one thing work so well when it's okay? So WWE does this new thing that TNA was doing for Matt Hardy with the Broken Universe thing, where they kind of do these cinematic matches. In the Boneyard match, it fucking just does not work.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Bad Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminded me of.
Because the sound effects to Undertaker's punches, the quick cuts, the music, all of that shit. Now, I would have given it a pass if they actually ended it. The one spot I told you that I thought they should have ended it.
Where it looked like AJ was going to bury him?
Yeah, because Deadman is backing. So, okay, it comes off very Sons of Anarchy in a way.
Okay.
Like the biker's going out, he's about to be shot and put into a grave after putting up a good fight, Yeah. I thought that's where they were going with it. I was like, you know what? If this is where it is, and especially if this is where it ends for The Undertaker, you get a pass. Yeah. You get a pass. But then it goes on for fucking way too long, and they basically bury AJ Styles with it, figuratively and metaphorically, and literally. I cannot express how much I cannot stand that match. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Sorry.
No, go.
It's nowhere near that Hell in a Cell match.
No.
I would much rather watch the Boneyard match than the Hell in the Cell match.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes. The one between The Fiend and Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, in talks of recent really bad matches.
Fair enough.
So I'd rather watch this than Goldberg Undertaker.
Same.
I'd rather watch this than Goldberg Fiend.
Same.
I'd rather watch this than... I mean, there's a lot of bad matches that we've had.
Yeah.
But my God, the praise it is getting is unwarranted.
So here's the thing. I think wrestling fans... first off, wrestling fans are fickle as shit.
And fuck them.
Yeah.
Because that's what Ronda Rousey says.
Yeah, which I gotta be honest. So, you know what? Ronda Rousey, when you can take a punch, you can go and talk shit to fans. Until then, I want to hear you zip it,
or
all right?
Kick, right?
Yeah, I know my last name starts with H. I know it's your kryptonite. But anyway.
Damn!
But...
Wait. Holly, Holm, H, Lex Luthor, LL, similar, maybe?
Did Holly Holm have a metal plate in her arm? But...
I hope her eyes are actually green.
That would...
Like kryptonite.
There you go. That would be
Sorry,
great.
that's... I'm over Ronda Rousey.
Same. But the thing about wrestling is that it's got to continue to evolve. Just like I say about comic book films, there has to be different ways to express it, shoot it, film it, ideas to keep it fresh. And AEW has been our shit. Like, I'm so happy with AEW, and I can't wait till all this Corona bullshit's over so we can get back to live audiences, because wrestling without fans is fucking weird. And that's one thing I have learned through all this. But with WWE, though, man, if there's any good question mark that comes out of this, is that some of those wrestlers get a break. I feel terrible for the indie talent. Do not misunderstand before anyone goes. You didn't think, I'm not Braun Strowman. I can care about indie wrestling, but wrestling is such a grind, especially the WWE schedule. I mean, 300 dates-ish a year?
Which is really unfortunate that it is that many, because, here's the thing, man. I definitely believe in a reduced schedule, but I don't think there should be an off-season.
Yeah.
So I know some people do. I am not an off-season guy. And the reason why I say that, I think they should be very more limiting as to what their house schedule would be.
Yeah.
Because, if AEW does not do an off-season and they still do 52 weeks a year, or 50 weeks, right?
Christmas.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But let's just say, just arguably every week, right? You do just your TV tapings. Well, first of all, for a smaller company like that, just the TV tapings, that's a good schedule to have if you're traveling once a week.
Yeah.
So if WWE did something like that and added on a house show in the region...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? For the SmackDown people, Friday Night SmackDown, right? Yeah. So I would argue you do a Thursday night house show in a neighboring town. Okay. Then do the SmackDown taping. Okay. And then either go home or go to the pay-per-view. Okay. So that's 100 matches a year, and you're still getting out to more than your TV audience.
I get. You know what? Okay. I like that. And so here's the thing. I'm actually there with you. So...
Because even if you get it down to 250, that's a shit ton, man.
I think you need to get down to 225. And at this point, and this is the other thing that people aren't talking about.
Even 2 would be even better.
I mean, that's completely fair. But there's so much wrestling right now. Mm-hmm. There's too much wrestling. Mm-hmm. There's too much wrestling. Like I will watch AEW on Wednesday nights. But I'll be honest, WWE is just kind of, it's like that. It's like that girl or that guy that you date, and you care about him so much, you let him cheat on you a couple times, and it's like
you're on and off relationship.
Yeah, you're like, it's like Love the Way You Lie, but in wrestling form, because WWE will do something where I go, oh, you dumb motherfuckers, but then I get I get that Firefly Funhouse match. I go, oh my god, that was great. But I can't keep watching the WWE product. I can't support it anymore. I'll listen to podcasts to keep up on it if I'm that curious. But It's AEW for me moving forward, and it's New Japan. I'll get into New Japan more, but
well, you know me, man. I love me some New Japan. I love me some New Japan.
Get a US app, for the love of God, please.
Yeah, a better app would definitely be better. But I mean, if they could continue the somewhat semi-relationship they have with AEW going, I think that'll be great.
Agreed.
Because there's a couple talents that are primarily AEW that do work New Japan as well, and I would like to see something like that continue.
Fair.
I really, really, really would, because New Japan, it almost looked like they were doing that with Ring of Honor for a bit.
And then that's sour.
Yeah, well, Ring of Honor in general's really going through some shit.
They're in a rough spot, and they need to treat their talent better.
Exactly. So I really think that New Japan and AEW should really make something happen, because there is some talent in New Japan that I would love to see get a shot in the United States.
Same.
I'll be completely honest, because I don't know if I'm going to sound like a dick for saying this, but I really do think this is an observation, at least in my opinion, of how it's perceived. The problem with New Japan is a lack of a good English commentary team. Okay. They've got an okay one.
It's Kevin Kelly and
sometimes it's what's his nuts, who's now wrestling on AEW.
Cabana, right?
Yeah, Colt Cabana, who I'm not really a fan of.
Really? I like him. Not a huge fan, but I like him.
Yeah, but give me Kenny Omega versus Okada again, but with Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross calling that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Or Excalibur, and throw in Excalibur as well. Fuck it.
Excalibur's actually grown on me a little bit. A little bit.
He still needs to shut up.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
shut up, Excalibur.
But he has grown on me a little.
But you know what I'm saying, though. You get those two with the chemistry they have, because Kazuchika Okada can fucking go.
Yes, he can.
And so can Tetsuya Naito. His matches with Jericho were great. If you could bring... I mean, honestly, if you could do a New Japan AEW Supercard...
Ooh, I'd be... Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then we can get a Moxley US title defense, some...
Right. Because, I mean, and honestly, I would do it after Moxley doesn't have the AEW title.
That's fair.
Because, I would do Moxley against somebody, but I would do Omega versus Okada again.
Okay.
First time on U.S. soil.
Yeah.
That's how I would bill it, too.
Okay.
And I would also do Tetsuya Naito against Chris Jericho again.
Okay.
First time on U.S. soil.
Mm-hmm.
AEW versus New Japan in that kind of case.
Yeah.
Guerrillas of Destiny against Lucha Brothers.
That's a match we need to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would do... all kinds of shit like that. So that's what I would really, really, really push for. I mean, Cody has said that he's really open to it. But New Japan, I question if the Kenny Omega leaving burned the shit out of them, man, and they're just, angry.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because they made Kenny their star.
Yeah.
Because Kenny brought a U.S. audience. Because he connected to the New Japan audience because he speaks fluent Japanese.
Yeah.
Not too many guys have that cross-cultural appeal.
I mean, that's why Bull Club started. It was a whole commentary on that fact right there.
So, if they're smart, they'll do that. In my opinion, if they do that, I think that has the biggest chance on toppling WWE's global reach than anything.
I think we will hear about some sort of deal. I think they will work together by spring. I think that will be something right around...
spring in 2021?
Yes, I think we start hearing rumblings around Double or Nothing, and I think that would act as...
If they could do that in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
The absolute middle of the summer.
Yeah.
Not 4th of July weekend, because I think that's not fair to the Japanese wrestlers, because you got some dumb ignorant hicks out there that would...
Yeah.
Make it a race thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Japan versus USA. No. But sometime in June, maybe even late July, just not 4th of July.
Yeah.
Man, that would be a hell of a time to do it.
So, my other theory is that it could happen in February, because if they're going to make AEW Revolution their WrestleMania, what bigger than to have a New Japan versus AEW Supercard? I mean, you do every match.
That could work because you could almost use Wrestle Kingdom to like set that up.
Yeah, you could have a couple guys. You could have a couple guys show up. Could you if Cody showed up and like, because that would be okay. That would be a match. Naito against Cody.
What I would do is Cody versus Kota Ibushi.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
I
would keep those matches as is because so here's the thing, like Jericho and Naito, that's a good match because it's a brawl.
Yeah.
It always is.
Yeah.
And they do good brawls together. Okada and Omega can go move for move.
Yeah.
And Okada is arguably the best wrestler in the world. You can say the same thing for Kenny. I say Kenny Omega
I do too.
But if somebody were to say, no, man, Okada is, I'd be like, I'm not going to argue that with you because
So you're the one who really kind of told me about Okada, you and my friend, our friend Annie, and I was kind of like, "How good is Okada?" And she was like, "He's really good." And then you were kind of like, "No, dude, Okada's like the man." And I went through and I watched a couple of his matches. I'm like, "Fair enough." I think the Rainmaker, it's one of my favorite moves in wrestling, man. I fucking love the Rainmaker.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man. So, like, I would keep those for an AEW New Japan Supercard. I'd keep those two tried and true matches, and I would do Cody versus Kota Ibushi.
Okay, I would love to see that match too.
I would do. I would also consider. I think I'd do Jimmy Havoc versus Suzuki.
Okay,
and I mean, you could say Darby Allin, but I think Jimmy Havoc goes a little more hardcore than Darby Allin in certain aspects.
That's fair.
That could really make Suzuki, who's tough as nails, but he's still in his 50s. Like, you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Because like the older guys, they could do hardcore matches a bit easier, or like make it a straight up death match.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
The last match I'm gonna say, bring before we wrap up here. I'd want to see Pac Ospreay. I'd really want to see that match.
Yeah.
Like, that could... Like,
that's that match of the year.
Yeah.
Possible. Yeah. I completely agree with that.
Like, I was sitting there thinking about whatever matches I'd run. I'm like, ooh, that would actually be one I'd love to see.
The only team I'm having a hard time with is the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put them. I mean, you could put them with the Luchas and the Guerrillas of Destiny into a triple threat.
But, if you do that, I love that, but I'd add the Revival. I'd have the Revival make their debut on that show, and I'd have them win.
Yeah, I mean, if the Revival, that's true, they are free agents. Yeah,
that's exactly what I'd do.
So, okay, actually, keep it Guerrillas of Destiny and Lucha Brothers, and then make Revival versus Young Bucks as its own tag match on its own, straight up on its own. That's what I would fucking do.
Okay.
So there you go, guys.
Yeah.
Those are the matches. AEW. Hey, Cody, are you listening?
You should be. You texted him earlier.
I did. I texted you earlier because you had this texting campaign thing that I was like, you know what? Beep, boop, bop. I'm going to text you.
I'm so sad I missed that, too. I was like, damn it.
But there you have it. That's a super card, man.
That would be. Well, we will even do commentary for it.
Dude, so, it's real quick, sorry.
No.
So you remember New Japan and Ring of Honor did Madison Square Garden the same weekend as WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I watched that show, and it's a pretty damn good show.
Okay.
Pretty damn good. It's not as good as they used to be.
Okay.
But they're damn good.
Okay.
Because they lost the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny Omega. Like, that's a
whoo. Yeah, they lost some people.
That's a starting lineup right there.
Yeah.
But man, what if they put that show on in Madison Square Garden?
That would be
so where show. I mean that's the other thing. Like, where would you put that show on? If you do it as a super show, like a genuine super card. If it's a standalone thing, I say you do it. Okay, here's what you do. Okay,
go.
You do Wrestle Kingdom, January, Revolution, February.
Yeah.
I say you do that AEW New Japan Supercard show Mania weekend. on Saturday.
Okay.
Like, fuck it, why not? That's in April. Have your own standalone peak shows, but use those to build to its own super show in April in New York City. Just what New Japan was doing, but you do it with AEW instead of Ring of Honor. Fucking Madison Square Garden, most important fucking wrestling show of the decade at that point, because it's 2020. Like, you could arguably make that like claim. This is the show of the decade right now. Like, this is important.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view buys would be fucking for wrestling fans, man.
Yeah, that's.
I'd watch that over the NXT show.
Yeah, I would too. I mean...
No disrespect to the NXT guys.
Oh, no, I love NXT, but that would be something I'd be like, oh, what, $50? Cool. Like,
take the fucking fight to WWE. Like, put it up, like, fucking, like, here you go, guys. Like, this is a fucking top-tier show against you. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I'd be so excited to watch something like that.
Because I think AEW should do a stadium show at some point, man.
They've got is that the United Center still in Chicago?
Well, no, but I mean AEW, the Khans run, or Tony Khan owns primarily AEW, and his dad owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, fucking, that's why they did the reveal out in front of the stadium there. They should have their biggest show of the year at that stadium. I think what we're going to see, and I think we'll see this next year, I think we'll see a big stadium show there next year. I think they're going to go to the UK. I think they're going to do a stadium show out there. I think they will do I think they're going to beat WWE, like, main roster over for a international show, if that makes sense. It's going to be kind of tricky, man, just because, like, the NXT UK is really not bad. They've got some great guys there. I think if they do an international show, they should go to Japan, man. They've got the connection and the fan base there, because WWE has been trying to do their own Japan performance center.
Yeah.
Clearly they want something there, a presence.
Yeah.
That's what I would personally do.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Because they're already, like, establishing something in Australia.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm telling you, they're going to turn it back. It's going to be global territories again.
Yeah, which, that's a whole other thing. But, honestly, though, AEW, guys...
it's a great product.
I'm loving the product. I will say, too, Moxley, you made the right decision, no matter what your dumb, quote, best friend, unquote, Seth Rollins says, because...
True story, man.
Because Moxley, I'm loving what I've seen from Moxley in just the last year. That match he had with Lance Archer alone, I'm like, okay, you're a badass.
Yeah, Chris Jericho may be the king of reinventing himself.
I love Chris Jericho. Jericho, you're amazing. And your podcast is great.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I say that this version of Jericho is my favorite Jericho.
It's fair.
But I think the biggest and best reinvention is Dean Ambrose and Jon Moxley.
That's
from
fair.
WWE to what we have now.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's night and day.
It really is.
It's like shocking how night and day it is. Mm-hmm. When he showed up at Double or Nothing, we were like, oh shit. But, there's a lot of hype. Like, can he live up to it? And then he goes and wins the New Japan US title. Mm-hmm. Has a couple great matches. Has a great show in the G1. You're like, okay, this guy is... He's out to prove something. Like, with maybe the wrestler with the biggest chip on his shoulder in wrestling, and I mean that affectionately, because it seems like he just hit the blocks. Because I thought he'd take 6 months off or something like that, and no. It was like... I
thought he would too.
Like, he was right back out there. It's like, okay, man. I got a lot of respect for Jon Moxley.
Same.
And the fact that his medical insurance is through WWE is something that makes me giggle really hard.
Because his wife.
Yeah. And I'm happy Renee Young's doing, like, WWE backstage, because that's what she's best at. Like, all the respect to you, girl. Your commentary game is just...
Not quite there.
Yeah. But she's good at it. She's a great interviewer, though.
She is.
She had that show Unfiltered, and that's one of the few original shows I'd actually watched, so of course they got rid of it. Just like that and Talking Smack. Like, two things I actually liked on the network, and they were like, can't have that. We hate our product, so. But
talk about a career renaissance, man. Fucking Jon Moxley, man. Like,
yeah. No, true, man. And promise the last thing I'm gonna bring up. Guys, it looks awesome. Check out Retromania.
Yep.
I'm really excited for it. It looks just like a very old school wrestling game, but something that I want. Like I'm really excited for it. It comes out in July.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it's you can pre-order it on Steam. It's not available to pre-order for PlayStation or Xbox yet, but you can.
I think you can pre-order it for Nintendo Switch.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So, guys, support stuff that's not 2K, like that's not WWE 2K games, because after 2K20, I don't think I'm giving them my money until I hear like this game has to have glowing reviews in order for me to even. Like, that'll be a Black Friday purchase, you know what I mean? Like, if it is good. But, guys, support independent wrestling. Support other stuff besides WWE. That's how we get competition. And as I always say, when I'm talking about DC and Marvel and, like, I was going to say variant comics, but Bloodshot, that's not going anywhere. Not happening, but I always say it, though. Competition's great for everyone. So support other shit. Don't just watch WWE. Expand your wrestling horizons a little bit.
And don't forget, like, my personal issues aside, and I've been reevaluating them, I'm kind of curious to see where things are. NWA also does exist.
It does?
Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Which is so random.
He's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Hence why his involvement with TNA at one point.
You know what? Thank God that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because I'm so happy NWA's back. Because the NWA, man, not niggas with attitude, but even though they got Homicide there, he's practically one.
I mean, you said it, man.
You can just nod. It's like, but that product though, it's been very old school wrestling, and it
works.
Yeah, it really does. And Jim Cornette bullshit aside,
the matches aren't any longer than 5 minutes most of the time.
Oh, which is so it's very digestible, which I love. Yeah. Like, you're not sitting there like a 3-hour Raw. It's a clean hour. They've done a couple like 90-minute episodes, but those are rare. It's like awesome, So
like getting rid of Jim Cornette for what he said was the right thing to do.
Yes, it was.
Their announcer for backing up Jim Cornette, not the guy that did color commentary with him, but like was it the ring announcer?
I think it's the ring announcer.
Oh, I fucking hated that so much. Like, and I really stopped watching after that.
You did.
I'm gonna try because I want to support those guys that are busting their ass out there.
I get it.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying like one guy who really does not impact the product should not be the reason why I don't watch the product.
Yeah.
You have wrestlers out there who are busting their ass, trying to put on a good show, trying to make something happen. Billy Corgan, you didn't keep him.
No.
You know what I mean? If Billy Corgan kept him, that's a whole different caboodle. Jim Cornette's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm reevaluating that shit.
He was a real dick about it afterwards
he was.
too. Like his apology, and I put apology in quotes like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yeah, man. And I think Cornette's entertaining. I mean, his hatred for Vince Russo alone, I find just hilarious. But
I do want to say I do think he has a brilliant mind for the business.
He does. He genuinely does, which is why it's more frustrating when you have shit like this, because like it's a gift that you're not using to its full potential because you're an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's his name? Stu Bennett, who they brought in.
You mean Bad News Barrett?
Yeah, Bad News Barrett. Bring him in for commentary. He's been great.
I miss him as a wrestler more.
I do too. I almost said Stu Pickles. I'm like, that's not right.
I would love to see if Stu Bennett would ever get back in the ring.
Yeah.
Him and Nick Aldis
would be a great match.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever they want to make their WrestleMania, like Into the Fire 2020.
Yeah.
Make that match.
I felt so bad for NWA because they had sold out the Crockett Cup, like 12,000 seats. And I'm like, it was going to be Scroll, all this too. And I'm like, I'm excited to see that match. And it's like, coronavirus. It's like, god damn it. Like, I felt so bad for NWA, man. And I will say, as a huge sports nut, if you guys have listened to the podcast for any amount of time, I miss sports, man. Like, I really, I know you're a big Laker fan. I am cheering the Lakers on this season for what happened with Kobe. But dude, the Lakers were rolling, and then all this bullshit happens. It's like, fuck, no sports. So
yeah, we were rolling, man. We had second best record in the league behind the Bucks.
Yeah,
we were just coming off back-to-back wins over the Bucks and the
Clippers. Yeah,
on the road.
Yeah, and it just sucks because these things are things you need fans for. I mean, we watched like a WWE clip. They're taping in the Performance Center. By the way, a WWE employee has coronavirus now, which is just...
On-air talent confirmed, just not a wrestler.
Okay. Okay, that's maybe a commentator.
I mean, or a backstage interviewer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised with a backstage interviewer. It's probably Paige.
that would be some shit.
She's a dirty girl. I'm kidding.
I know, like...
No, I mean...
Her body, her shoulders, like...
Just saying.
No, I mean, Paige got that new, like, stomach tattoo, and it just looks... Or chest tattoo, and it looks really weird. Like, I mean, it's not Cody Rhodes' tattoo.
It's not.
But, I mean, so it's not that bad, but it is just like, oh, come on, girl. Like,
and it's not Mike Tyson's face tattoo.
Yeah, which... It looks great animated, I'll say. But, alright, we're getting out of here. I was like, let's talk a little wrestling. But
I love it.
But, OJ, where can the people find you, sir?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter. My personal Twitter is at TheOToTheJ, and that is capital T-H-E, capital O, the number 2, the J, capital J. And, of course, you can find KJ and myself on SoundCloud. On the Fly is there, and you can find our communal Twitter at KJ and OJ spelled out. That is KJANDOJ. And please do check out my Twitch channel. That is twitch.tv/O2TheJ, and that's with the number 2 in there. That's O2THEJ.
Yeah, he's been playing the shit out of that Final Fantasy remake.
Oh my god. I've logged 23 hours since Friday morning. God. And I've done it all on stream, and I did 11 hours on stream yesterday. I cannot stop playing it. I'm forcing myself to take a break doing this now.
That's good, but I'm assuming that's what you'll be playing until it's done, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, because who knows, if you watch, you actually might see Hunter randomly pop up on there, because on occasion, OJ says Hunter 3 times, and I pop up.
He's like the Candy Man, but he actually brings treats.
There you go.
And not bees.
Yes.
Which, by the way, that remake, I am not going to see.
Yeah, so...
No disrespect to the filmmakers or anything like that, but OJ don't do horror that much.
So you guys know, the only movie we have not... that I sat in on for review that I did not see was It, because... Nah, I hate clowns. That's what makes my attraction to Harley Quinn so confusing. Because I'm like,
unless they're big money hustlers.
Yeah. That's I hang out with juggalos. I get high with juggalos. I'm like, fuck that. And I'd be like, yeah, come on, let's get high. And
no, but I mean, like, Big Money Hustlers was funny.
Oh yeah, Big Money Hustlers is hilarious.
But it's creepy.
Yeah, no, Pennywise.
Yeah.
I just saw the trailer for it, and I remember when I went, nope, absolutely not. So, but, oh my gosh, I totally forgot I was going with that. Damn it. I totally lost my train of thought. That's what, Candyman. Yeah. I'm going to probably have Imani and Chrissy on that, because they love horror, and I'm just like, if we are going to review it, yeah. just sorry, guys. Gonna have to have someone else help out on that, because...
Yeah.
I can
do... It's not that I don't want it to succeed, I just can't do it. Man.
I can do horror, but supernatural horror is where I go,
Same.
Nope. I'm like, sorry.
Slasher horror I can do.
Same.
I recently rewatched Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2, and then the 2000 whatever remake.
Don't check your O'Haley, that one?
No, that's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, my bad, yeah.
No, the one with Jared Padalecki.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Which is more of a remake of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yeah.
It's more of that. But I could do that shit easily.
Okay.
Ghosts, supernatural, creepy shit. No,
yeah.
Man. No, I'm out. Not for days.
Us was right on that line for me, but I love Jordan Peele so much. I was kind of like, I need to go see this. But yeah, I saw Exorcist once, and I remember I did not sleep well for 6 months. I remember making that hard line in the sand, going, "Cool, this is my line." Nah, like can't do that shit. So
First Paranormal Activity for me, man.
I heard that was actually scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Creep me the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm no. So, yeah, anything like that. Sorry, kids. Probably not gonna get a review on here, but that's what always makes Halloween so fun. But guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your support. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can go ahead and follow Scott on Twitter at Nearmanthefirst. You can follow Colin on Twitter at TheReal. That's REEL. O'Neill, and you can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and oh my gosh, what am I missing? iHeartRadio. There we go. And Podbean at The Real Pineapple, and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll have a review. I'm gonna actually review it right now, so I'll have a review up for the best films of 2019. We were waiting to do that, and I figured, hey, I have time. Let's go ahead and get that done. And we'll have a review up this weekend for Onward, because that just came on Disney Plus. Really been wanting to watch it, so I'm gonna make a point to watch that as well. And I'll have a full review up for Parasite as well, because I have so many thoughts on that movie. But guys, thank you so much for listening. Stay safe out there. Have a good one.